Hi everyone, this is Andrew, or Maverick, depending on which platform you see me on. So I'm doing an unboxing video, and FYI, I've already taken the outer box off, um, but this is the main box. I'll try to do multiple videos as I go throughout this beta testing. One thing I notice right off the bat is this lovely black, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, there it is. That there nice little logo. It's hard to see on the screen. Somewhere in there. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna pause the video, take the sleeve off, and we'll begin opening up the box. Okay, so now we have the box or the sleeve off. Let's go ahead and open it. Now, one thing that since I have repackaged this board, I'll show the clips eventually of my initial reaction, but this is how it came out of the main box. But I am actually very happy with the packaging. So let's open this. So right off the bat, we've got this foam mat, and the board is kept in a foam box, if you will. We'll open up this little guy first. So this is your power cord. When I first opened this, I had no idea what that was. I've never seen that before, but then I realized that they came with that end. I've never seen that end before. I assume it's from other countries. And then the traditional US attachment, and it just goes on there and it locks into place. Pretty solid box. And then the cord is just your traditional power adapter. We'll put that to the side. Now we'll go into this little box. These are the pieces. Let's see. Open this up. That's how they look. Yeah. Right off the bat, they look pretty nice. So we'll take this. It's got this foam. Here are the pieces with the foam on it, and then you can see these black circles are the felt on the magnetic piece. So let's pull out, say, a pawn. Here's a pawn. If we had not hid the magnet, would have liked to see the wood come down just over rather than having this lip. You'll see this in other pieces mainly, but this was a pretty good seal. I do like this particular pawn a lot. Okay, if we go to the next piece, let's take a look at the rook. So my first impression on the rook is it's quite tall and not very wide. I would like to see a little bit more girth to this. But overall, that's a pretty good rook. I do notice, I don't know if you can see this. When we look into some of those channels, they're not as clean as I would like them to be. And if you notice, so it's that deep, but it's a little bit shorter and a little bit shorter. So they're not all the same size. Here's the magnetic piece, the felt. Okay, now let's go to the bishop. We'll save the knights for last because that's really what makes a chess set. Here's the bishop. Like I said earlier, you can see that there's some gaps right there, and that would have been hidden had they put the wood just a little bit over. You can see it's pretty good. When we look, probably when it was on the lathe, every once in a while you'll see like a small imperfection. That's okay, this piece isn't very noticeable for that. Let's go to the queen. So here's the queen. Nice. So that has a little bit bigger gap. This queen was really good. Would have liked to have that top polished a little bit more. Here's the king. Notice that the crown is slightly off center, but it's not as bad as the white king. You can see the bottom of that piece is not even there. I do notice some adhesive remnants on the bottom. Okay, then let's go to the knight. It's a pretty good knight, still very long compared to a normal chess set. Would like to have seen a little bit more girth. These eyes are pretty good, but when you look at it's hard to see those eyes and even the nose on the white pieces. They didn't polish with inside the neck. Still very hard to see the eyes. So there's all the pieces. One thing I did notice is if we were to see both of the knights, the light knights together, you can see the difference in grain. So this one was very splotchy, and that's okay. I quite like this one where you can see a nice grain from the bottom to the top. But it's interesting to see spots everywhere. One thing I did want to point out is, so this is the light queen or king and the dark king. Together they look like separate sides. However, when I put the black with, say, this black pawn, it is a completely different color. So one thing I've found is, so like you've got a really dark pawn with a lighter one. Most of them are pretty dark, and when you set it up, it's not too noticeable, except for the king. The king seems like an outcast. It would have been nice to see that the pieces were hand-picked. So they make the pieces, and then they should have been hand-picked to match color. But yeah, there's the pieces. And so the next thing we have, let's put these pieces back in. And I'll pause the video and then resume when all these are back. Okay, the next thing, let's take a look at the instructions. So it's just a little instructions. The most advanced chessboard in the world. Phantom. Before diving into the world of Phantom Chessboard. Take a moment to familiarize yourself with the following instructions. Phantom Chessboard, setting up, app configuration, Phantom modes, sound notifications. So the Phantom Chessboard, it has one electronic board, 32 pieces, 2 extra queens, 1 power adapter. And that just goes in, here's the setup, app configuration, Phantom modes, sound notification, and then here's what's included, more what's included, and the care of how to take care of the board. We'll get more into that later. So let's take a look at the board. So under this foam, we have this cloth, just to keep it from scratching. Take off the cloth. Now there's the board. First impressions, the veneer does not look bad at all. I really like what they did with the veneer. It's very smooth. Feels like the pieces will glide nicely. And you really can't tell, or I mean, you can tell that it's veneer, but just by, say, looking through this video, it does look wood. Doesn't necessarily feel wood. You can't feel any grain. But I am actually quite happy with the board. Now let's take this out. Can't do this with one hand. I'll pause the video and get this out. Okay, so we got it out, and like I said before, here's a nice foam box. Packaging was really well done. I don't believe anything shifted. I don't know about internal pieces, but nothing in here shifted. It was really nicely done, and I'd actually like to keep this for when I store the chessboard. As far as the chessboard, let's take a look. So here's the bottom, just your normal sticker. The only controls on the side, we've got the power button, the power adapter, and we have a USB-C. I would imagine that's for software related things, but none of the instructions show any of that. I'm sure that'll come eventually. But main thing we're going to be using is the power adapter and the power button. It looks like the plastic is held on by screws along the exterior every few inches. There's no other controls on the other sides. But yeah, I'm quite happy with the board itself. Love the look and feel of the board. Pieces, on the other hand, pieces were actually pretty well done. I don't think I could make these pieces on my lathe. I just would have liked a little bit more quality on some pieces. Like, for example, that king. It's noticeable that it's off center. Also, I believe it was the black king. Not only the color, but when you set the board up, it's a bit crooked. I don't know how you would do that with a lathe unless the magnet itself was a little bit crooked. You know, I'd liked a little bit more quality on these pieces, but for the first impression, if we get nothing into the electronic side of it, it's a very nice board. Best I've had yet, and I would love to just even play normal chess on these boards. So, quite happy with this. So does Leah. I think she likes it, especially the box. But yeah, there's the pieces. I'll probably post the setup and the initial calibration later today. But I'll have this uploaded and sent, the links sent to all the different platforms here soon. Yeah, hope you like it.